Authoritarianism is a form of government characterized by strong central power and limited political freedoms. In this review, we will delve into the key aspects of authoritarianism, its historical roots, characteristics, potential benefits, and drawbacks. Dear valued supporter, we appreciate your ongoing support for our channel. For those seeking additional ways to contribute, we offer subscriptions on Patreon and Boosty, providing exclusive perks as a token of gratitude. Join our community and let's enhance this journey together. If you prefer an alternative, PayPal donations are also warmly welcomed. Your generosity helps maintain and improve our content. Whether through Patreon, Boosty, or PayPal, your support is crucial in sustaining our channel. Thank you for considering these options. Links will be indicated in the description of the video. Historical background. Authoritarianism, as a governing approach, finds its origins in ancient civilizations where rulers, emperors, and monarchs wielded authoritarian control to quell dissent and secure their authority. In these early societies, power was often concentrated in the hands of a single leader or a ruling elite, ensuring a centralized decision-making process. The 20th century witnessed a resurgence of authoritarian regimes, notably in Europe during the interwar period. This era saw the emergence of leaders like Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin, who employed authoritarian tactics to consolidate power. The historical trajectory of authoritarianism reveals its adaptability across diverse cultural and political contexts, showcasing its enduring presence in the evolution of governance structures over millennia. Understanding these historical roots provides insights into the recurring patterns and challenges associated with authoritarian rule throughout human history. Characteristics of authoritarianism. Authoritarian regimes share defining traits that shape their governance. Centralized power stands out prominently, where decisions rest in the hands of a single authority or a select group, streamlining the decision-making process. These regimes discourage political diversity by limiting political pluralism, thereby narrowing the spectrum of accepted ideas and perspectives. Additionally, strict control over the media plays a crucial role in maintaining the regime's narrative dominance, suppressing dissent, and influencing public opinion. Political opposition faces systematic suppression, reinforcing the singular authority's control. Notably, the absence of democratic processes distinguishes authoritarian systems, as they lack the participatory mechanisms inherent in democratic governance. These characteristics collectively mold the authoritarian landscape, fostering an environment where power is concentrated, dissent is marginalized, and political diversity is constrained. Understanding these features is pivotal in grasping the distinct nature of authoritarian rule across various historical and contemporary contexts. Political structure. Authoritarian political structures are marked by a hierarchical organization, emphasizing a top-down approach to governance. At the apex of this structure, a singular leader or a small group wields substantial decision-making authority, centralizing power dynamics. This concentrated leadership marginalizes other institutions, relegating them to subordinate roles within the broader governance framework. While political parties may nominally exist, their influence is typically curtailed, constrained by the ruling authority's tight control. This control extends beyond just the formal political landscape, reaching into various facets of society. The hierarchical nature of authoritarian political structures aims to ensure a streamlined decision-making process, with power residing at the summit and limited dispersion. Examining these structural dynamics reveals a governance model where authority is concentrated, limiting the influence of alternative power centers and reinforcing the dominance of the ruling elite. Economic policies. Authoritarian governments shape their economies through diverse models, ranging from state-controlled systems to hybrid setups combining state and private enterprise. Centralized economic planning is a recurring emphasis, allowing ruling authorities to steer economic development in alignment with their priorities. This deliberate guidance is often geared toward achieving rapid industrialization, promoting infrastructural growth and economic expansion. However, the flip side of this approach is the potential stifling of innovation and competition. By tightly controlling economic avenues, these regimes risk limiting the dynamism inherent in competitive markets. While centralized planning may yield short-term gains and targeted development, the long-term impact on innovation and adaptability becomes a critical consideration. Assessing the economic policies of authoritarian governments provides insights into the balance they strike between directed growth and the potential repercussions for a diverse and competitive economic landscape. Cultural and social impact. Authoritarian regimes exert significant influence on cultural and social dynamics, actively shaping narratives to align with their ideologies. Commonly, censorship is employed, curtailing freedom of expression and restricting artistic creativity. The reach extends beyond media control, as these regimes implement social policies reflecting their ideologies. These policies influence various aspects of society, including education, family structures, and cultural practices. The aim is often to mold a cohesive societal fabric, but the consequence can be the homogenization of diverse perspectives. Individual freedoms are constrained under this regulatory environment, limiting the ability of citizens to express themselves freely. The impact on cultural diversity and personal liberties becomes pronounced as authoritarian regimes assert control over the narrative, influencing not just public discourse but also the day-to-day aspects of people's lives. Understanding these cultural and social dynamics sheds light on the pervasive influence of authoritarian rule beyond the political realm. Stability and order. Authoritarianism is often perceived as advantageous in its ability to uphold stability and order. The centralization of power facilitates prompt decision-making, especially during crises, contributing to effective governance. This swift response capability is seen as a cornerstone for maintaining societal stability. The population, in turn, may derive a sense of security from the perceived orderliness and efficiency of an authoritarian regime. In situations where stability is prioritized over individual freedoms, citizens might view this as a trade-off worth making. The appeal lies in the perceived ability of authoritarian systems to swiftly address challenges, ensuring a controlled environment that minimizes disruptions. However, the trade-off between stability and individual liberties remains a contentious aspect, requiring careful consideration of the societal values and priorities that underpin the dynamics between governance, stability, and personal freedoms. Challenges to authoritarianism. Despite its potential benefits, authoritarianism faces inherent challenges. Lack of political pluralism can lead to a limited diversity of ideas, stifling innovation and adaptability. Suppressing dissent may create an undercurrent of dissatisfaction, potentially erupting into protests or revolts. Long-term stability may be achieved at the cost of stifling societal dynamism. Human rights concerns. Criticism of authoritarian regimes frequently centers on human rights abuses. The consolidation of power within these regimes can result in unchecked authority, leading to widespread violations of individual rights. Arbitrary arrests and the suppression of free speech become common tools in maintaining control, often at the expense of citizens' fundamental freedoms. This pattern of abuse has drawn intense international criticism, with various authoritarian governments facing scrutiny for their disregard of basic human rights principles. Instances of political dissidents being silenced, citizens facing arbitrary detention, and limitations on freedom of expression have become recurring themes. The global community grapples with the challenge of addressing these human rights concerns while navigating diplomatic relations with regimes that prioritize control over individual liberties. The tension between authoritative rule and the universal principles of human rights underscores the complexities inherent in international relations and ethical governance considerations. Economic inequality. While authoritarian governments may achieve rapid economic development, this growth is not always equitable. Economic policies driven by the ruling authorities' priorities may lead to significant wealth disparities, with a concentration of resources in the hands of a few. This can exacerbate social tensions and undermine the long-term stability the regime seeks to maintain. International relations. Authoritarian regimes often engage in distinctive approaches to international relations. Diplomacy may be driven by pragmatic considerations rather than adherence to democratic values. This can result in alliances with other authoritarian states or strained relations with democracies. The global community's response to authoritarianism varies, with sanctions and diplomatic isolation being common tools of pressure. Authoritarianism in the contemporary world. In the 21st century, authoritarianism persists and, in some cases, has experienced a resurgence. Various countries across different continents exhibit authoritarian tendencies, sparking debates about the future trajectory of global governance. The rise of populist leaders and movements has brought attention to the challenges posed by authoritarian tendencies within democracies. In conclusion, Authoritarianism represents a distinct form of governance characterized by centralized power, limited political freedoms, and strict control over various aspects of society. While it may provide short-term stability and rapid economic development, it also raises concerns about human rights, political pluralism, and long-term societal adaptability. The global landscape continues to grapple with the implications of authoritarianism, shaping the ongoing discourse on governance, freedom, and the balance between stability and individual liberties.